O Oreo, Oreo, wherefore art thou, Oreo? I love thy cookie and adore thy cream. Or if thou wilt not provide, but be sworn by diet, and I'll no longer be a snacker, 'tis but thy fat content that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a vegetable. What's vegetable? It is nor plant nor seed, nor leafy green, nor any part desired by man. Oh, be healthy. What's in a nutrition label? That which we call a snack, by any other word would taste as sweet. So would Oreo, were it not Oreo called. Retain that dear perfections which it owes, without that title. Oreo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself. You tried it! You tried that. The Oreos return. I'm Nick Novak with my pals Chad Capulet.
Actually, you can call me Papa Charcoals.
And Nick Montague.
Poor York, I knew him once. That's the only quote I can give you. Poor Oreo.
That was the first intro you've done in a foreign language, right, Novak? Because I didn't understand shit.
I tried to keep it as close to the actual Shakespeare lines that I could. So it's very, very close. So for the non-listeners that know Shakespeare well, they will appreciate that.
I was going to say, I know about 45% to 75% of our listenership, and none of them are smart enough to know what that is.
I'm not smart enough. I was like sitting there the whole time like, wait, that's Romeo and Juliet, right? Right? Or is that Fast and Furious 7? I'm not sure.
Did you guys have to read Romeo and Juliet at some point?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We read like a bunch of Shakespeare stuff, and I literally remember understanding none of it. You know, like, I mean, it's like it's such a word salad. Like you're reading the words and then you just, I didn't understand the meaning at all because they were in such like a weird order.
Right.
Fuck Shakespeare. That's what I'm saying.
That's
right. He should be in a movie. Oh wait, I don't like the movies either.
Starring Paul Newman. Wait, who's he? I know when we read Romeo and Juliet, we read Macbeth, and then we were supposed to read The Tempest in like AP English, and I had a severe case of senioritis at that point, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna read the back cover, and I somehow wrote a paper on it and got a B-, so I don't have any idea what happened in the book, and that just shows the teacher doesn't either.
All right, that's kind of a brag.
Yeah, a little bit. No, who cares? It was really just a display of my laziness.
Well, one man who does have some bragging rights because he created life is Charcoals. Nick and I, we don't talk about it too much, but have both created two lives. But Chad's on first life. So
yeah,
Chad, what from the experience do we need to know?
Well, you know, I'm not going to bore you too much with the actual, you know, labor story because everybody has a different labor story and everybody's labor story is the most boring story they can tell someone. You know, like it's very fascinating to you, but like nobody else gives a shit about what your labor was like. But there was a couple things from the hospital, from like the food situation of the hospital. Now, it's pretty, two things I wanted to go over real quick. I mean, it's pretty hacky to say like, you know, oh, like hospital food, you know, what's the deal with that? Because it sucks, right? And we knew it was going to suck and it was really bad. All the hospital food was really bad. But there was one thing that I thought was just very weird, which was I saw something on there that was like, oh, breakfast sandwich, sausage breakfast sandwich on a pretzel roll. And I'm like, oh, hey, there might actually be something good here, right? And it comes, so I order it. It comes to the room. The pretzel roll has no salt on it whatsoever. The sausage is a turkey sausage. The eggs are egg whites only. And so I'm just sitting there like, why does this exist, right? Like you advertise something like it's this unhealthy thing, and then they just dumb it down in like the worst possible way, you know? Like,
you're at a hospital. These people can't eat.
They're like determined to like take this potentially delicious dish and just make it as dog shit as possible. Like, why?
Right. Well, a dish like that's delicious because it has the things like salt and yolk, and you know those are important parts to making it delicious.
Right. And you'd think that a hospital would want you to like stay longer, right? So they would like try to induce heart attacks and stuff to like get more money out of you.
Right.
I didn't understand that at all. So that was one thing. And then the other thing that I just thought of while we were there, which was a question I wanted to ask you guys who have both produced two lives. placenta. You tried that?
I don't remember that even being an option. It was a while ago, but I don't remember that even being presented. Was that presented to you by the doctors?
Yes, absolutely. And I guess it's a thing. It's a thing. I don't know. Maybe it's bigger out here in California. But there is a contingent of people that think you're supposed to eat the placenta. And I don't see how that is not cannibalism, right? Like you are eating a human body part. Like it'd be no different than if I just sliced open my wife's stomach, pulled out her liver, and just took like a giant bite out of it. Like I don't see how it's any different. It's an organ.
Several things that would be different. You're committing murder. That's not at all the same thing. No, I think we got asked. I want to say we got asked, but I declined. I think I was worried I'd like it too much, and I asked them to just hollow out my wife's stomach so I could have more.
You would get the taste. You would develop the taste for human flesh.
Yeah, right.
I do remember just the halls being filled with different dads all walking around just chewing on placentas, like talking to each other. What is the reason that they actually... What's the reason for doing it?
I don't know. You're fucked up in the head.
I do think there's some cultures where it's I think it's like a circle of life thing in some cultures, but I don't know for a fact if that's, I mean, I'm a moron, so who knows? But I think it is like this was the thing that was feeding your baby, and from that placenta, this new life was born. So I don't know, eat it so you can kill off its food source. I don't know.
The doctor was showing it to us, and she's like, "Oh, here's the different parts of the placenta," and it is one of the grossest looking things. Like it's this weird blue. It was so nasty, and I could not even imagine it. And so then there was definitely, when she asked, she's like, "Do you want to keep the placenta?" And there was like a pause, and I was like, "Hell no!" And then she's like, "Oh, good." There was just like a wave of relief over her face, like she clearly doesn't think people should be doing that either.
There's always weird things like the whole like, do you want to cut the umbilical cord yourself? No, I'm not a doctor. Like, you do it.
Oh,
you did?
I totally did that.
No,
yeah,
no way. I have zero interest.
I was all about that.
How did you get like a sledgehammer and do it Gallagher style, just smash it down?
I did bring my katana, and so I had them line it up and just like.
This is probably not something to share. We've already ruined everyone's appetite.
Do it.
But my wife had a C-section, so the first kid, I have twins, the first one's coming out, and the doctor says, "Do you want to see?" And of course you say, "Yeah, sure." So I went up above the like surgical thing that was like placed at her, let's say, like shoulders.
Right,
so,
the like little the curtain or whatever to block things off.
Right. So I stood up and looked at it, and we all know what happens in the C-section. And then I sat down, and my legs stopped working. So he's like, "Do you want to? Here comes the second kid. Do you want to see it?" And I said, "Not unless you want to carry me out of here." So that was as far as I made it. I gave it the old college try, but then Chad, I know you said that you were like sitting there with a bowl of popcorn.
Oh, I watched the entire thing from start to finish. I was like so interested. I mean, my wife did not have a C-section, but I thought it would. If she had, I probably would not have wanted to watch that. But yeah, I thought it was a really interesting thing to watch. I was not at all grossed out by it, which I know some people are like, "Oh, I can't look at my wife the same," or some bullshit like that. But I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I actually
really interesting.
Got divorced from my wife. I was like, "That you're disgusting." I was like, "No." I definitely they asked me like, "Oh, with our first child." They're like, "Oh, your baby's starting to crown or whatever come out. Would you like to go see?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like same thing with you guys. Like, of course, right? So I go down there and I'm like, I won't get into specifics, but I was like, "Ah!" And I came back up to the top. I'm like, "Everything's great. Nothing's looks disgusting at all. Don't worry about it."
What is that to the doctor? What's going on?
Is that a person? But I definitely have never felt more useless than, and I'm a guy who feels useless fairly often, but I have never felt more. When they're like, so you're just, because I don't know, the first birth, it just seemed like there was a million nurses in the room. I don't know why, but there's tons of people floating around, and they're all doing something because they're medical professionals, and I'm just kind of standing next to Betsy, like, "You're doing great," blah blah blah. And one nurse says, like, "You're almost there," and I'm like, "You hear that, honey? Just a couple more pushes and you're done." They're like, "Don't tell her that." Like, the lady snapped at me. I'm like, you literally just said she's almost done. Don't tell her it's only one more putt. I'm like, I didn't say one putt. And then I'm like, it's not the time to argue. I'm like, all right, fine. So I literally just like walked across the room. I'm like, I'm over here. Let me know when you're done.
The nurse is like, haven't you done enough?
You're the reason we're here to begin with.
If ever there was a better example of why I should not be the one giving birth to the children, was when we did a class where you practice a breathing and stuff, because you weren't sure whether it was going to be a regular labor or not, but like a general childbirth class. And so for some reason, this instructor they gave us a piece of ice, and you're supposed to hold on to the ice like you're fighting through a contraction. So like, hold it, it's uncomfortable, and you just keep holding it till she says stop. And it is uncomfortable.
Yeah, we
so
did that
when
too.
you hold a piece of ice, it does get uncomfortable after not that long when you're gripping the ice. So I 100%, when she started walking to another couple, put the ice on the carpet, picked it back up. I'm like, I'm glad I'm not the one giving birth, because
as soon as she turns her back, you just whip the ice across the room. Get out of here, ice!
Whoops.
So my question for you, Novak, is the whichever kid, the one that you watched coming out, is that the one that you love more then?
Of course. I refuse to recognize the other one.
She sleeps under the stairs, Harry Potter style, like in a little hovel.
I like winners. She got here first.
Is that why you named your kids Beloved and the second one?
Yes. Oh, well, congrats.
Thanks.
And
definitely.
You also, on You Tried Dat, you said that you did try the breast milk as well.
Yes. I have sampled the breast milk, and it is very, as a man who loves milk, I drink a lot of milk. I probably drink a gallon of milk every 3 to 4 days. Talking cow's milk there. Yeah. But I would describe it as a vanilla shake that has melted and had all the sugar removed. Like, it's just very sort of bland, pointless flavor. So I'm going to give it a dislike that.
Well, I think I had. Have you tried it, Novak? I've had a little bit. It's not good.
Just like a tiny sip, but I don't even remember what it tastes like, to be honest.
Well, today we'll be dunking our Oreos in breast milk because we find out no.
As a reminder to maybe newer listeners, we last year did an Oreo tournament where we tried 20 plus different kinds of Oreos in a single sitting. It was a live app we did with Chad's brother Dave. And since some new Oreo flavors have come out, and so today we're going to be sampling these new flavors. We've got the dark chocolate, the carrot cake, and the most stuffed. So you likely have seen these at the store recently if you scour the Oreo shelves as much as we do. So I think today we should start with the most stuffed, because it's just most similar flavor-wise to the standard Oreo. So dig out those most stuffs. They claim to be triple the cream amount, and to look at them, it almost looks like a mistake or something. It's comically large amount of cream in the middle.
Do you want to do the rating system real quick?
Yes. So we will be giving these ratings on a 5-point scale, either a love dat, like dat, indifferent to dat, dislike dat, or hate dat. And we don't really have comparisons of these ratings, because when we did the first tournament, we did not do this exact rating for every cookie. So this will kind of be our first Oreo cookie ratings.
Now these look like, these are actually, I think, thicker than if you took 2 double stuffs and put them together. It's more like if you took 2 mega stuffs, which is sort of like the 2.5 times, put those together, you might get a most stuff. So we got to try it, and then I got to try putting 2 most stuffs together to make like a 8-time stuff.
They do look funny, like in that they look uneven. One of them with the cookies I got, like one of the discs is like falling off the side. There's so much cream in
Yeah.
there. And I think if I recall during the tournament, I was on the side of the Mega Stuff had too much stuff.
The Mega Stuff does have too much stuff.
When you bite it, you can feel the cream kind of like being smushed out the sides of it against your mouth because it can't help. There's just so much cream.
Yeah.
So the proportion is way off. I mean, it's so heavy on the cream.
This is absolutely insane, this cookie. So let me combine
While he
two of them now.
does this operate. Oh.
I'm holding up the picture of the 8
That
times
looks
stuff
gross.
to the camera. It's like the size of my head.
It really does.
That looks like a marshmallow in between two cookies.
Oh god, it's so sweet. So much cream.
Chad is literally holding this monstrosity he created like a sandwich.
Yeah.
Do they sell Oreo cream on its own, like packaged Oreo cream?
Not that I know of.
Why?
I don't know. For people like Chad.
Yeah, this just tastes like there was a big thing of cake frosting that on
Yeah.
a sheet cake that I was just like scooping up with like an Oreo, but it's way too much cream.
It also feels like they're like much softer cream. Maybe it's just so much of it, like on a smaller cookie, you don't notice it's that soft. But like when you scrape it off with your teeth on another cookie, it feels harder than this. This is so
I agree.
gritty and
I
sugary.
totally agree. So, Geiger, you give us our first rating, 1 to 5 placentas. What is your rating?
Well, we finally found a snack. There's no way I could eat the entire packaging of it. This is just so much cream. I get why Oreo's doing it because it's just a novelty. Everyone like races out. I mean, for sure, when the three of us saw it, we're like, we gotta try it. Like,
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
that's why they're doing it. They're not doing this because I can't honestly think they're doing this because I think this is a better cookie because it's not. But
This will not be around long term. No
No.
way.
I am still tastes like an Oreo. It's just way too much cream. I'm glad I tried it. I'll never look for it again. I'll eat the ones I have here, but I would give it an indifferent to that. They're not like actively bad. It still tastes like an Oreo, but it's just way too much of the sugary cream.
So, Chad.
It's too much cream for sure. But it is still that classic Oreo flavor that I love, just totally whacked out of proportion.
There we go.
I don't know. I love the cream. I'm a guy that I don't mind putting together 2 double stuffs every now and then. I think this would be very interesting dunked. I'm gonna try dunking this in milk later. I think that's the way to eat it because that'll sort of soften things a little bit. It'll make it so that when you bite into it, the cream won't squeeze out the side because the cookie will be softer. But having said that, it is too much cream, so I got to downgrade it a little bit from what I would give a regular Oreo or a double stuff. So I'm gonna go like that for these. They are still tasty, but it's too much cream.
All right.
I like how most of us were like, this is too much cream. And Chad's just like, what sort of engineering do I need to do to get this cream to stay together so I can eat more of them?
Thinking outside the box there.
When you make those double ones, though, don't you then have leftover cookies?
Yeah, and those are delicious as well. I'll just eat those straight up cookies or
So you just eat them plain?
yeah, plain or actually dunk them in milk. That's the way to do it.
Who? Well, Geiger said was right. I was excited when I saw the package. It was the only one of these 3 today that I really wanted to eat. And laying it all out on the table, I had eaten a number of them before we started. I didn't eat the other 2, but I got these on the way to work. I was at work, and I'm only human. I was very hungry,
Yeah.
and I said, "Damn it to hell! I'm going to eat a couple of these things." And I ate a number of them, but I still agree that it's too much cream. It'd be interesting if I had never had an Oreo cookie, what I would think of this. But I'm with Chad here. I think the flavors are good, and I'm still going to give it. It's a low level like that, but I am giving it a like that. So, Geiger, you're on your own there, but still a good start. It's a totally fair. Your rating is more than fair.
That's fine.
Oh, for sure. I ate the 3 cookies or whatever, and I can't eat anymore. My mouth is on fire. Like that.
Let's move next to away from the chocolate to the carrot cake, and this is the one I'm most dreading. It smells
I'm
bad.
terrified
to
of
me.
this one.
Really? Would you guys like carrot cake regular?
I don't like carrot cake that much. I could eat it, but I would never seek it out. Not a big carrot cake fan.
I find carrot cake, people who like carrot cake, they only like it for the frosting. It's like, why are you eating this bad cake just for some good frosting? Like, I think carrot cake is totally pointless. You'll never eat carrot cake.
I like it for the carrot. I just like I like my carrot cake to have super like big chunks of carrot in it. No, I really like carrot cake. I actually was looking forward to these, but knowing that there's almost no way, because the cookie part is the part that is most like, it looks like it's carrying the burden of making it taste like carrot cake, because the filling is just cream cheese. So
yeah, it's going to be that same cream cheese, I'll bet, that we had on like the red velvet Oreos and stuff, and it's thick like a double stuff as well.
Oh yeah, it is.
They definitely smell like cream cheese.
Cream cheese frosting. I don't taste any carrots, which is good because I might have ended up, after eating this, spontaneously vomiting all around the campfire. So that didn't happen.
Is yours guys like the cookie is really hard?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much harder than the other cookie. I do think the flavor accuracy is good.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty close to what a carrot cake cookie should taste like. It's gonna be a tough one to rate. Chad, you got to start us off. What do you think?
This is not good. This is really, really not good. The frosting is way too sweet. That cream cheese. I don't like any of these Oreos that have this super sweet cream cheese frosting in it. It's too much. The actual cookie, I'm going to taste the cookie by itself. Let's see. Yeah, that's not doing it for me. I don't understand the point of these. These things are bad. So, yeah, I'm going to give them a dislike that.
Well, we're thinking along the same lines here today. I almost went indifferent, but the aftertaste isn't great. The smell isn't great, and the frosting is probably no sweeter than the other frosting. Just it doesn't have the chocolate to balance it out. I do think if you like carrot cake, then you might like this cookie. I think I could see our friend Chemnitz, who talks about carrot cake all the time, liking this cookie. But for me, it's just not getting it done. I'm going to double up on the dislike that. Geiger, do you like it, or do we have an unwelcome visitor?
Knock, knock.
Hello.
We're not answering the door. I don't know how you do that one. Yeah.
Exactly like that.
Knock, knock. And then we just sit in silence for the rest of the podcast.
We just stare at the back of our
turn off
front
the
door in
lights.
silence for an hour and a half.
Down.
Look out.
We just yell through the window, "We're not home! No one is home!"
Leave your carrot cake Oreos. I like carrot cake a lot. I don't like this cookie. It's the cream cheese frosting is too sweet. I think more than like the cream cheese frosting of an actual carrot cake would be. One of the things I like about carrot cake is like the nuts and like all the stuff that's in it. And obviously they can't recreate this. I do agree that it's not a bad representation of what a carrot cake is. There's something about the cookie that it's almost, this is going to sound odd or maybe like snobbish or something, but there's something about it that tastes like too much nutmeg or something. There's like too much of like one of the spices or something in there, and it overpowers the whole cookie. I think
you're right, yeah.
And it ruins it for me. I'd almost think this would be better if it was just a golden, well, then it wouldn't taste like carrot cake, but something with a little less overpowering. This would be better if it was a chocolate cookie with regular cream in the middle.
What if it was a Reese's
cup? So yeah, this is a good attempt. I was excited, but I know carrot cake. This is no carrot cake. This gets a dislike.
Did I ever tell you guys about that time I made these cupcakes that what you do is you take 2 Oreos, you screw them off the top so that you have just one cookie cream. So you take the cupcake, you pour a little bit of cupcake batter in, put the bottom half of the Oreo with some cream, stick a Reese's cup, top half of the Oreo with more cream, cover it with cupcake batter, and then bake it. And I did that one time, found some recipe online. It's pretty dope.
What are those called? Diabetes cupcakes?
Pretty dope.
They sound unbelievable, but
definitely too sweet, actually.
Speaking of the unwelcome visitor, have you guys ever like ducked down or hid in a different room to avoid somebody who is at your door, or like from seeing that you are home, so you don't even have to
Yeah,
answer and tell
like
them to go
every
away?
Jehovah's Witness that comes to the door, pretty much, or like anybody that's like the lazy electioneers, those kinds of people. I don't ever. Yeah, we pretty much never answer our front door unless we're expecting somebody.
But do they just knock and look in the window and just see you sitting there, like looking at your television, or do you go
No,
running for cover?
we usually have the blinds closed, like right there by the front door, so they can't see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're like looking in, Chad's staring at the TV, and they keep knocking. You just like flip them off without even looking over. Yeah, for a while there, we had these guys coming through the neighborhood trying to sell us cable constantly. It was like all these like cable people, and they'd go to door, and I saw one of them one time. Like, I cannot do this again, so I just went upstairs and pretended not to hear the
You
doorbell.
didn't want cable? What's wrong with you?
No, I already had cable.
Sometimes those cable guys need a helping hand just to get back on their feet. You can't even do them a solid and order cable.
Yeah.
What? They're not. I wasn't trading them shelter for cable. I don't know what. I get they have a shitty job. I have a shitty job too. I just don't want to have it made it worse by coming home and talking to a cable guy.
Oh, I guarantee those dudes don't want you to answer the door any more than you want to be answering the door. Like, please, nobody answer.
I think I saw them. The third ring, they listened real tight. They started walking away and just fist pumped and like marked my name off their list. And then I came out and said, "Hey man, what's up? You want to sell me some cable?" And the guy was like, "Fuck!" And he turned around.
And they're just running down the street.
We've got cable options, fine. Yeah.
All right, it's time for our segment. And the segment today is called News and Views. Mostly because I have a news story, and then I had a second Oreo thing. So we're going to first talk about this news story. And it's happened actually up in Illinois, close to Geiger and I. And it's pretty recent, from a couple months ago. The title of the article is Football Players Suspended from Team for Running Naked with Oreos Wedged in Buttocks.
As one does.
Do tell.
So it's a short story. It's a couple paragraphs. This happened in Byron, Illinois. And it started to get some national play just because it's a bizarre story. 10 football players at a Northern Illinois high school were suspended from the team for 3 games last month after they ran across a field naked with Oreo cookies wedged between their buttocks. The Rockford Register-Star reports that the Byron High School players were suspended for indecent exposure, but that school administrators concluded that they went on the, quote, Oreo run at the school's football field voluntarily and were not victims of hazing. And then the paper reported that a letter was sent home to the parents of students who admitted to participating. And that's pretty much the extent of it. So these kids went on an Oreo run, which is just put an Oreo cookie between your ass cheeks and run across the football field.
What's so bad about that?
They were just trying to change their regular Oreos to chocolate Oreos, if you know what I mean.
Well, the bad thing was that they were naked. I think that was the mostly bad part.
Oh.
I don't think they like shoved the Oreo down their pants and then just
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, did they then how did everyone know they had Oreos in there? Did they stop and bend over and let them fall out or something? Like how would anyone? It would just look like you're running naked. Who gives a shit? No, well, not that that's a good thing. I'm just saying.
Geiger's all about the naked high schoolers.
No. I'm just saying, how would they even know it's an Oreo run if they can't see the Oreos? I'm confused. It's that you can't really run because you have to hold
that's
your
what I was
cheeks
going to
together?
ask. How well do you guys think you could perform on the Oreo run?
Well, I could have nailed it because you wouldn't even know. I'm so ample in the back, you wouldn't even know. It would take one of these most stuffs for it to actually be even a challenge for me.
All this cream just starts falling out of your ass.
In fact, I've got an entire package of double stuffs in my ass right now. So,
I don't see what the big deal is. I keep Oreos there all the time.
Yeah. How else am I going to sneak them into prison? What?
So it just seems like a crazy, weird thing. Geiger, how many times have you done Oreo run?
Ooh, Oreo. I haven't. No, not many times Oreo. I put a whole apple up there one time and ran. Uh, an apple.
Up there?
I made a Subway sandwich, and I did that, and I ran it in there between my ass cheeks.
Just the other week, I did the placenta run.
Oh, disgusting. Geiger, isn't that the real reason that the nurse was yelling at you? Was because you were trying to do the Oreo run during childbirth?
I guess I was coming over Betsy. I'm like, "You're doing great. Hold on, I got to make another lap." And she's like, "Will you get out of here?" And then like the next part, I'm like, "No, you're doing great." And like the lady looked up and was like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Oops, wrong room." And I ran into a different room.
You're like, I've never felt so useless.
You were like, you're not the only one that can push something out of your body. And then you like proceeded to squeeze out like 10 Oreos.
I asked Betsy, I'm like, "Would you like to see it come out?" I watched the baby. And she's like, "What?" And then I just squeezed Oreos out of my butthole while she gave birth. It's not the same, she said, but I didn't buy it.
You're super confused about what Oreo run is because you keep talking about pushing them out your butthole. The Oreo just wedged between your cheeks. That's it.
Well, okay, not out of the actual hole, sure, but you hold them in the hole, right, so they don't fall out?
No, you just hold them in the cheeks.
Novak.
This guy's like,
Novak, I think you're just trying to make us jealous because you had that Oreo C-section.
Well, Geiger's clearly the LeBron James of Oreo run, just shoving multiple Oreos up his ass.
I didn't say multiple. I spent like one afternoon going door to door, running naked with Oreos in my ass, and then trying to sell people cable. No one would come to the front door. Like one guy actually signed up, and he's like, "Oh, I don't have a pen." I'm like, "1 second." I pulled one out of my ass and handed it to him.
So you're telling me you went door to door naked with Oreos in your ass, and you got a guy to sign up for cable?
Yeah, I'm really good at sales. He was super creepy and made me. "Honey, who is it?" "Some naked cable guy. I don't know, but this deal is fantastic." That is the true unwelcome visitor.
All right, second part of the segment here is I'm going to read off. There's an Oreo personality test, and there's 10 different ways you can eat an Oreo. I'll read off your options. You tell me which way you eat the Oreo, and then I'm going to tell you some insight into who you really are. Okay? So choice 1, eat the whole thing at once. That is an option. Choice 2, 1 bite at a time. Choice 3, slow and methodical nibbles, examining the results of each bite afterwards.
Like a fucking serial killer.
Some sort of sexual deviant.
It puts the Oreo in the mouth, or it gets the hose again. That's K Oreo skin.
4, in little feverish nibbles. 5.
What?
5. This guy apparently just had to come up with 10 different ways you can eat an Oreo.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, right. I think there's only like 3 or 4, but okay.
Okay, it's another choice. And it says milk, coffee, etc. 6, twist it apart, the inside, then the cookie. Okay, it's a popular way. 7, twist it apart, the inside, and toss the cookie. So why would you buy an Oreo?
Oh, like throw it away, not toss it like a salad tossed. Got it. I thought they meant just like lick the cookie like frantically.
It's the prison style of eating an Oreo.
That's how you end the Oreo run, is somebody tosses the Oreo.
H, just the cookie, not the inside. So buy a chocolate cookie. Right.
What?
Oh, now that's a fucking psychopath thing to do. Yeah, that's the serial killer move.
9 is all the other ones described them, and now this has the word "I" in it. I just like to lick them, not eat them. Popular method of eating an Oreo. And then last,
how many licks does it take to get to the center of an Oreo?
Last but not least, I don't have a favorite way because I don't like Oreo cookies, which is the most insane of all. That really is the most psychotic.
I don't know. I think licking it, not eating it's a little insaner, but that's fine.
Chad, what way do you eat Oreo?
Shit, this is tough because I do have on the Mount Oreo, like the way of eating, Mount Oreo eat more. Fuck, that didn't work. Anyways, I've got I definitely dunk a lot, but I also do the split open, eat, just the cream on the inside and then finish off with the cookies.
Yes.
And I also do just regular bites. And I also do eat the entire thing in one bite. So those would be like the top four.
What's your top one?
Number one, I'm gonna go dunk. I think dunk is the best way to eat them. Dunk them, hold them in there long enough till it gets soft and chewy, and just take a bite. So that's what I'll go with.
All right. So here's a little something about you. Everyone likes you because you're always upbeat. You like to sugarcoat unpleasant experiences and rationalize bad situations into good ones. You are in total denial about the shambles you call a life. You have a propensity towards narcotic addiction.
Yeah, accurate so far.
All right, Geiger.
Wait, hold on. So people who dunk their Oreos are drug addicts, is what he's trying to say?
Yes.
All right. Just double checking.
Sticking the Oreo in your butt cheeks was not one of the choices. So
that's not
Geiger
how you
gets to choose
eat
your
it.
second choice.
If you do it up the butt, then you get the sugar in your system that much faster.
That's true. Oreo butt chugging. Or butt munching, I guess. I don't know. So I would say there's really only two ways I eat mine. I do the screw the top off and lick it, or I just eat it like in bites. I don't ever really pop the whole thing in my mouth. I've done that, but I don't do it often. So I used to dunk it prolifically as a child, but my lack of drinking milk has kind of curbed that. So I would probably just go eat it in bites, just like regular eating it in several bites.
One bite at a time.
Yeah.
All right, one bite at a time. You are lucky to be one of the 5.4 billion other people who eat their Oreos this very same way. Just like them, you lack imagination. But that's okay. Not to worry, you're normal.
All right, I'll take it. How about you?
So I might more likely just take the bite, but I'm going to go with the other likely one just to be a little different, and that's the twist apart, eat the inside, then the cookie, because that's also a popular way. So if you twist apart, eat the inside, then the cookie, it says, you have a highly curious nature. You take pleasure in breaking things apart to find out how they work, though not always able to put them back together, so you destroy all the evidence of your activities. You deny your involvement when things go wrong. You are a compulsive liar and exhibit deviant, if not criminal behavior.
All right. What's the explanation for someone who just licks the Oreo and doesn't eat it?
Lick'em is stay away from small furry animals and seek professional medical help immediately. That's it.
All right.
Nice.
So that's our segment for today. And we have one cookie to go to decide who the champion of the Oreo competition will be. And that's the dark chocolate Oreo. So just looking at the dark chocolate Oreo right off the bat, the cream does look very dark in there. And it does have a dark chocolate kind of smell to it.
I'm very curious about these because, as you'll recall from the Oreo tournament, the regular chocolate Oreo is one of the flavors that I actually prefer to regular plain Oreos. But I don't know if the dark chocolate is going to translate as well. It smells a lot fudgier, actually.
You don't like dark chocolate, right, Chad? Or am I wrong on that?
Yeah, generally not. But how dark is this really going to be? I don't know.
It's not super dark chocolate tasting. Just a bit darker than that just plain chocolate Oreo.
The consistency is a little bit different of the cream, I feel like.
The cream is like the same color as the cookie. If you don't, like from afar, it just looks like a solid chocolate cookie. It's kind of funny.
Huh. Very chocolatey.
It does. Yeah, it does kind of taste like a like they actually took like a piece of chocolate, sort of like melted it down, maybe added some chemicals, and then put it in the cream. More so, like it tastes a little less processed than the other ones, is what I'm trying to say.
All right, it's my turn to lead this off. I'm gonna say I am pleasantly surprised here by this dark chocolate Oreo. I was not expecting really much of it. I do prefer it to the plain chocolate Oreo. The chocolate tastes a little better. It almost tastes too good for an Oreo cookie. Like it tastes like it's just a slightly higher quality chocolate. It may or may not be, but it's just a different kind of consistency and flavor. It's not amazing. I would still eat a regular Oreo over it, but I do like it as Chad makes the double dark chocolate. I'm going to give this a like that to start us off, and I think the most stuff's going to have a strong competitor out of the darkness here. Geiger, what do you think?
This is really good. I agree with you. I like it better than the regular chocolate. I'm a big dark chocolate guy. I wouldn't say that necessarily tastes like dark chocolate. It doesn't have that like bitterness. It just tastes more. I think Chad nailed it. To me, it just tastes more fudgy than anything. But fudge is great. The cream is smoother. It doesn't have that kind of gritty. Not gritty, but when you eat like the white regular cream from regular Oreo, there's like kind of almost like a grittier, coarser texture to it, and this is like real smooth and creamy. I really like this cookie. I will stick it at a like that, but it is way up there for me.
Ooh, I felt that hesitation.
I almost went love that because I like it a lot, but I kept it at a like that. I would still probably say I'd eat a regular Oreo over this, so I can't really say it's a love that. But this is a very solid like that. This is very good.
All right, Chad, is there a welcome visitor and a Oreo champion in the dark Oreo?
There is no welcome visitor. These things are a home run for me. These things are outstanding. I also like them more than the regular chocolate Oreos, which means that these are up there probably along with the peanut butter to be on my top of my Oreo list. I think these are so, so good. That makeshift double stuffed dark chocolate that I just made was outstanding. I cannot wait to dunk these in milk. I think these are going to be so good dunked in milk. They're going to be so good. As soon as we finish recording this podcast, I'm going to go upstairs and eat like 6 more dunked in milk. So yeah, these are getting a love dat for me. These are unbelievable. They're really good.
All right. The clear winner here is the dark chocolate Oreo, and I think we all agree that that is the right call. If I were to go back for one, it would be the dark chocolate. So a surprise. I don't think we were expecting the dark chocolate to be the champion today, but there it is.
Yeah, I am surprised. Yeah.
So if there is another Oreo tournament in the future and we do seedings, it's going to have a strong case for having a top seed. So there you have it.
We're never doing another Oreo tournament. Are you fucking kidding me? That's the most insane thing you've ever said.
It was funny. I was at the store looking at the Oreos. I was counting up the varieties in my head. I'm like, okay, there's 20. Okay, no, we can't do this. We can't do this.
All right. Go get yourself some dark chocolate Oreos, and we'll be back next time when we'll be trying out.
Real quickly.
Ooh.
Before you go back and... Oh, man. How many podcasts now is it? Are we 50 in almost? Before you go to get the Oreos, you should do one other thing. A much more important thing that will probably enrich your life more than stuffing your fat face with Oreos. A super healthy activity, which is talking to us. So you should email us at at youtrydat@gmail.com. Just email us at Gmail. Just type Gmail into your browser. It'll type anything you want. It'll come right to us. You should visit us on YouTube, on Instagram, on SoundCloud, we have a Facebook group, You Tried Dat. You can also email Time Warner Cable and just apologize for me. That would be really neat, for both ignoring those people, antagonizing those people, and impersonating them naked, collecting people's money, and then never delivering the cable.
The top salesman.
That'd be really, really helpful for me personally.
And for those of you that have tried placenta, why don't you go answer this week's Twitter poll, which is, now that you've tried placenta, how many humans have you consumed afterwards? And the answers there are 35, 5,000, and 10 million. So let us know.
How about placenta Oreo? Would that be good?
Skin flavored cookie with like a blood flavored cream.
How would you eat your placenta? Would you take little nibbles? Would you lick it? Would you rip it in half and just eat the goo inside first?
I'd toss the cookie.
One bite. I just jam it all in my mouth and eat it in one bite.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
All right.
All right. Now I'll end it. All right. We'll be back next time when we'll be trying out 3 brand new snacks.
Deuces.
Yep.